Pardon the string trimmer noise in the background. This is my daughter's 2008 Honda CR-V, and it's in great shape. And even though we feel like we just bought it, but even though we feel like in the condition it's in, it must have been in the garage its whole life of 13 years. But even in the garage for 13 years, the headlights can start to wear. So even though they look great from the front, you can, I don't know if the video is going to pick it up, not as much as I wished it would, but there's a lot of fogging in this area on the top all the way down through here. And like I say, the video is probably not doing it justice, but they're pretty clear from the front. Same on this side. Clear when you get down at the front angle, but when you look at the top of this plastic, it's all fogged up really bad right in here. So we're gonna try this Rain-X Headlight Restoration Kit, and it looks like all you really need in addition to that is some microfiber towels. I've got some painter's tape also, and I've raised the hood. I raised the hood so that I don't have to worry about damaging any of the hood paint on this surface, but then I'm going to use the painter's tape to protect everything else right here, just so that when I'm using the restoration kit I don't rub any paint. So the directions are very simple. So you just make sure you're working on a clean, dry surface. You spray the headlight and polishing pads with Rain-X lubricant, which is all in this kit. And this kit was about $20 on Amazon. So you're using the 3 different polishing pads going in a diagonal direction, and then up and down and left and right direction, and then diagonal again. And then you're putting on a restorer with a microfiber cloth and Rain-X sealant at the end. So you're polishing, you're restoring, and you're sealing. And so we're gonna do that right now. Okay, so we have our painter's tape around the headlights. We're gonna get started with our first step. Okay, so in this kit, they have the lubricant, the restore, and the sealant. They also included a microfiber rag, which is nice. And then these pads that you open up, they're together, but if you look, you'll see a number 3, number 2, number 1, and that is important to do them in the right order. So we're gonna start with number 1. Start with the lubricant. Step 1 is to use the polishing pad, which is this, in a firm diagonal motion as shown in the diagram. Cover the entire headlight area. Continue until a headlight has a uniform color and texture. All yellowing should be removed at this step. An unclear appearance is normal at this point. Wipe clean and proceed to polishing pad number 2. So it's important to remember in this process that once you start it, your headlight's gonna look terrible. So you're gonna be questioning, like, man, am I doing the right thing? But you just gotta stick with it. So we're gonna lubricate the headlight itself. What I would recommend is just when you're done, just go ahead and hose off the whole paint and everything, just to clean your car. But I wouldn't worry about little bits of overspray. So we're gonna lubricate our pad. We'll use this side of number 1 on this headlight and the other side on the other. So it wants us going in a diagonal motion. Now the shape of the headlight makes that a little difficult, but we can still follow the concept of kind of an X pattern. So this part of the headlight I'm doing right now is a clean part, but we're still, and it does say to give it a little muscle, so you're kind of spraying a little bit hard at this point. You're wanting to get off that worn out plastic layer that's foggy. So up here where it's bad is where I really want to see some progress. And it's kind of on the surface that faces upward. So the part of the headlight I have that faces straight out isn't nearly as bad as the part that faces up, which makes sense. It got the most sunlight and direct sun, I guess. So we're kind of doing an X pattern on this shape of a light. It's not gonna exactly be an X pattern because you're dealing with an irregular shape with a lot of different surfaces. Keep it lubricated. You don't want to be doing it dry. And with all the stuff on there, it's kind of hard to tell. So I think what I'm going to do is wipe it off with a microfiber and I'm going to put the surface I've been using up so that I can kind of keep track when I switch from one light to the other. And I would recommend having more microfibers on hand than what's included because you want this to wipe away all the excess. Yeah, don't worry about it. We got your paint well protected. We'll clean that off later. Okay, so I can still see quite a bit right in here and here. So I'm gonna keep working. This is kind of hard on your wrist too. So just be aware that it's kind of labor intensive. Yeah, I may let you do this for a little while, and I may video because.
Do all scoop ice cream.
Yep, you're scooping ice cream, so you got the big biceps and the strong wrists.
Not much.
Okay. So we're just gonna kind of spend a little more time with this number 1 pad because it's gonna be your most abrasive, and this is the one that's probably doing the most work out of the 1, 2, and 3 pads. I'll switch over to my left a little bit. Okay. While so far my initial impressions are it's improving and it's not difficult, I don't know if it's getting everything. We'll won't really know that until we're done, but it looking pretty good. And I will say it's not that hard. Like, this is not difficult for a do-it-yourself, and you got to figure if you follow the directions, the worst case scenario is it's not going to be perfect, but it's going to be better than it was before you did it. It's not like you can really screw it up if you follow the directions. Okay, I think it's probably pretty good for step 1 on this headlight.
Oh, yeah.
So
That's actually not bad.
it said to remove all the yellowing, and I definitely don't see any yellowing, but I gotta say I never really did. I saw
But the
haze,
fogginess
but I
is
never
gone
saw
away.
yellow. So I think we did well on that for step 1. So we're gonna, you ready? Okay, so the side we're using on this light is up. So when I go to that other side, I'll use the opposite side of pad number 1. But we're gonna stick with one light at a time. It says for step 2 polishing pad, just lose your lubricant for 1, 2, and 3. And this time it says on the number 2 there to go side to side and up and down. Again, on a headlight of this shape, that's it's hard to kind of go in different directions because it's not really an up and down kind of thing. It's just such an odd shape. But basically, we're going to try to go, up and down like this, best we can. These headlights are in exceptionally good condition for a 13-year-old vehicle.
And
I
the whole
think
car's in good shape.
if your headlights are in bad shape and you're doing this, you're gonna notice a huge difference right away. I mean, it's really for $20. It's one of those easy improvements that actually can even help, you know, the functioning of your headlights, like your night vision and stuff like that. Make your lens clear. Your headlights can only work so well if they're going through a blurry surface. It's one of the other upgrades we're going to be doing soon, is changing out the headlights. These are not very bright at night. They're halogens. We're not going to put LEDs in it, but we are upgrading to a better halogen. So those are coming in a few days, and we'll put those in.
Oh, no, I did order them.
You forgot you ordered them?
Uh-huh. I think they're still on the list of what to get. I completely forgot.
You've been making so many changes so fast you couldn't keep up.
Wow. And then I ordered a sunshade for my car too. It should be coming
Yeah,
in.
you need one of those in Louisiana.
Because I'm going to be in college, so
Yeah,
having my car out there every day.
Well, your car's parked outside all the time, at home, at work,
Yeah.
at school. Okay, so step 2, pretty easy, not really seeing anything major on step 2.
It's made a difference.
I think a lot of the work was done in step 1. And then this is not hard. I just keep the lubricant on there. Don't be stingy with that, because, like I say, you don't want to do it dry. It's not good for it. You can tell, I mean, if you keep it wet, it's easy. Okay, I think that's good for step 2. We're gonna wipe it off. Okay.
Oh, wow, it's brighter. You can tell it's cleaner.
Mm-hmm.
I think this one was the worst one, too.
Yeah, I think you're right. I can still see, but that's not really, like, I can't even feel that. Just, I don't know.
It might just be like,
Who knows? So on step 2 it says, detail headlight, uniform appearance and texture. And then step 3 is about getting it smooth to the where it feels smooth, but I gotta say it already does after step 2, so I think we're in good shape. I think this headlight's gonna look pretty good when we get it all done. So we're gonna go on with step 3. And this one again was supposed to be diagonal, which
is it the same thing?
same as step 1 as far as the diagonal, but the number, it's a number 3, so it's doing something different.
Okay.
All these, the reason they're numbered is the pads, even though they look the same, you're getting a finer and finer polish as you move from step 1 is very coarse.
Gotcha.
It's meant to get off that coating to kind of sand away the outer layer of the plastic that's all either yellowed or foggy or whatever, scratchy. And then as you move to step 2, it's a little bit finer. And then step 3 even finer as a finishing polish or a finishing. So polishing is like removing a very, very thin layer so that it gives it a new appearance. That's why, like on car paint, for example, a polish is different than a wax, because you know, a polish is actually kind of micro abrasive, taking away a really thin layer, and wax is just putting on a harmless layer over the top of something. But this is a polishing, so we're actually removing a dead layer of plastic kind of, so that we can get to the, make it look new. Kind of like sanding here, basically sanding plastic. Very pleased with how easy this kit is to use. I mean, it definitely doesn't take any kind of skill. If it did, I couldn't do it. So it's that easy enough for me to do it.
Isn't the 16th a Monday?
Yeah, are you not recording?
No, I'm recording. I'm just wondering.
Yeah, 16th is a Monday. Okay, so we're gonna wipe this off now, and kind of feel it.
Can I feel it?
Let's wipe it off first.
Holy cow, it's shiny.
Does it look pretty smooth? Does it feel smooth, like
It
when you
feel it. It feels smooth to me.
Yeah, even up here is where it was worse, and it's smooth up there.
Wow. Because you could
So-
feel like the rough edges and stuff.
Are you recording?
Mhm.
Okay. So step 3, that's what we just did. Use polishing pad number 3, wipe clean, allow to dry. So, all right. So we're gonna, I think, grab a clean microfiber
He has plenty of those.
and just kind of really wipe this clean.
Looks really good. I'm impressed.
So we want to wipe it dry.
Just wait till I put the actual new lights in. It'll be awesome.
Okay. So we wiped it. Now it says apply generous amount of the restorer, which is this one, onto a microfiber cloth. Rub on the entire headlight using firm circular motion. Repeat until all haze is removed and headlight has a clear appearance. Rinse with water and wipe dry. So we're gonna keep our green one as a wiping one. We're gonna get a yellow. Gonna get this. I'll use this one to apply this. So they give you quite a bit of this stuff, so I'm figuring it must use a lot. All these kits you buy are usually intended to do one vehicle.
Dad had this one picked out for me, like even before I really got the car.
Yeah,
I kind of already knew.
I had seen somebody use it on YouTube and it looked good, got good reviews, and there's so many out there now. And they've gotten easier. The early ones, they used like drill bits and a bunch of different sandpapers, and they could be really labor intensive. And I used a 3M one several years back, and I'm sure they probably improved it since then, but I remember it took me hours to do one car with that, and this one is so much easier.
What we did was after we got the car, we kind of sat down and wrote down a list of things that we thought might need fixed with the car. We kept a running note, and most of it's disappeared now because we fixed it all.
Yeah, the only thing we have left is the new headlights.
Yeah.
Just because we're not happy with the dimness at night. It just doesn't really light up the road like we want it to.
Because we kind of drive down a dark road a little bit, and I can't really see when I'm driving, so it scares me. I always turn my brights on in that road.
Okay. We'll go ahead and wipe it off with this green one.
Didn't it say rinse with water?
At the end, let's
Okay.
wipe it off first.
Alright.
They said to keep doing it till it's clear, and then at
You
the
just like
end.
wet a rag and just like wipe it with water, I guess.
Yeah, we got a hose, and we can use a hose a little bit and then dry it.
Okay.
Either way.
That looks really good.
Okay.
The top here, there's like a...
Yeah, I think we'll do it again.
Yeah.
So it says repeat until all haze is removed and then rinse with water. So I think we're gonna do it again.
Puppy. Hey, puppy.
Yeah, I would recommend having plenty of microfiber towels because it's always good to not use a dirty one for stuff. Okay. We'll grab some new towels when we go to the next light.
All right.
Because this is our second application of the Restore. I think it's looking pretty good. I think I'll get, I'm going to take off the tape.
We taped it up before we started the video.
And I'm going to rinse it a little.
It didn't take as long as I thought it would. That was
And
really
then
fast.
let's do a little
Abby.
put a little helper right over there. A little supervisor.
Abby, hey.
Hey Abby.
Hey.
Thanks for your help.
Hey.
Are we doing okay?
Yo, go puppy.
Okay. We're gonna run a little water over this. Just gonna kind of spray it off.
In the garage.
We'll take a dry rag, clean dry rag. Kind of scrub that really well.
Holy cow, that looks great. Oh, why did you think it went?
Just for reasonable expectation, I would say when you do a project like this, you want to see a marked improvement, but I wouldn't expect it to be like brand new. Just from a kit like this, but it's very nice. So I'm happy with that. So we've done the polishing, we've done the restoration, and now the sealant. So the last step, spray Rain-X sealant on a clean cloth and apply uniformly to headlight. So we're gonna take that, we're gonna spray our sealant on there. This just kind of gives it a protective coating, I think, to prevent future sun damage. And what I do is when I put ceramic spray on the car paint, I go ahead and do the headlights and taillights, and that does put a protectant on them. So if you have a newer car that's in good shape, or you have a car where you have to restore the headlights like we're doing now, from this point on, if you put that ceramic spray on there every time you seal your paint, you probably never have to do this again. And if your car's already newer, you should never have to do this, because it should protect it from the sun. So we'll find out. I've got a car that's 4.5 years old that I started when it was new, and
Honda CRV.
we'll see how it does over time with just different protectants.
Kind of interesting to see how the CRV's changed over the years compared mine to Dad's. Can't say it's really changed drastically though. not huge. I feel like they both kind of drive the same.
Okay, so there is a finished headlight. So I can still see some cloudiness. It's a lot less, and it's definitely a lot less than it was.
It's a lot better.
So you can kind of compare that light to this one over here.
Oh,
Again,
yeah,
I
that's
don't know how the camera picks it up,
Oh,
but
it
it's
picks it up all right.
really cloudy on this surface right here. Whereas that one over there, you can see a little bit, but it's much better. And I think that headlight was worse than that.
It was.
So,
It was.
so I would say that we got 80% of it if I was just kind of making a guess.
It looks a lot better. I feel
Very
better about
nice.
it.
Okay, so we're done. So we spared you the boredom of watching us do the second light since it's the same. So this driver's side light that we did first looks very good. There's a very small amount of cloudiness at the top, barely detectable, and it was the worst of the two lights. And then we did this light, and it came out even better. This looks brand new, and looks fantastic. What do you think, Kristen?
I like it. I think it looks
You happy with it?
Oh, yeah.
All right, she's washing her windows now. Got it looking good.